Awesome, sweet. Welcome back in, and I'm excited to have Travis Blackburn here, and he's joining us here from Florida. And Travis, welcome to the podcast. Excited to have you here, and introduce yourself a little bit. That way, everyone knows who they're listening to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. My name's Travis. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've been in insurance now, life insurance for the past year and like 2 months almost. I've been in sales for about 2 years total. I did door to door before this. Used to be in info for a little bit as well, just kind of helping people with their offers. So I've kind of jumped from like everyone has copywriting to info to like e-com to all these things and finally landed in insurance and like finally seen my success that I've been waiting for the past couple years.
Gotcha. So you've been in a couple different fields, doing a couple different things. What like really drew you into insurance and left some of those other fields?
Yeah, so my original door to door, I wasn't in pest or solar, what most people do. I was doing a home service business called seawall cleaning. So it was all for like Fort Lauderdale and Miami. I was going in, it was me and my friend George. We were just knocking all the doors ourselves and then doing the jobs ourselves. And running your own home service business is a lot. It's not just like doing the sales side, it's doing everything. And we very quickly found that like it wasn't as lucrative as we thought. And we were also building up a social media at the time too. So I was recording all of the door to door interactions as well as just like, personalities for myself and him. And we accumulated like 2.2 million monthly views a month. And I had all this attention, all these eyeballs on my page, but I wasn't really using it to convert into anything. I didn't have a program or an offer or anything. And sales were getting tough just doing everything in person. So I was like, I mean, insurance is something that you can do from anywhere in the world, really. You can recruit anyone in the country. You could be in Florida and recruit someone from Washington. They could be in their bedroom ripping, and you can build a massive team virtually. And I had the eyeballs. I know how to go viral, so it's like it was a no brainer basically.
Gotcha. So, being able to like you built the following with what you were doing, like door to door, building that up, and then you jumped into insurance, and you found that it was easy to scale. Being able to use your following, what like really allowed you to kind of convert that audience from what you were doing into insurance and helping that actually allow you to scale? Like, did you change something about it, or just change what you're posting?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've always been posting, like just in general, but I started to really kind of catch traction. So I've always like posted Travis, regardless of what I was doing. I was posting like back in college, and then I was posting about like my copywriting stuff, and then eventually seawall cleaning. But like the seawall cleaning is what kind of got me the eyeballs because it was just the videos on the doors were popping. So, a lot of those people that were in sales, I mean, I attracted just salespeople in general. Like that was like what my algorithm was pushing. So it wasn't a big switch up from to go from door to door to sales. Sales is still sales. And there's a lot of people on the doors that want to make the switch and, working in AC and from their desk all day too. So it's like it was but I wouldn't say it was an easy transition. Like I saw a lot of adversity when I
Yeah.
first came on. I started at another IMO, FFL, back in like October of 2024. And, I really, really struggled, honestly, for the first like 4 or 5 months. Um, Leads were tough. I'm not going to blame it all on leads, but like, I mean, I'd have like a lot of the leads that I bought from vendors over there just get resold. Clients
Mm.
calling me saying, "Hey, someone told me that you got fired, and I need to replace this policy with like a mutual of Omaha policy. Is that true?" And I'm like, "No," but that would consistently happen. And
Mm.
yeah, it just got to a point after 9 months. I should have left sooner, but after 9 months of being in that environment, went from FFL to another IMO, which was basically like the same thing. After 9 months, I was almost out of the industry. And then Edgar Navarrete, my old upline at FFL, called me up just to see how I was doing. And he's like, "Hey, bro, like, just wanted to check up on you. Like, how you been?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm leaving the insurance industry. This is just getting too much." He's like, "Bro, like, what? Like, I've made $30,000 profit like the first 3 months I've been here at Unitrust." I was
Wow.
like, no way. Like, you're lying. And he's like, "No, dude, I'll send you the deposits right now." I'm like, "Okay, like send them." And he sends it to me over FaceTime. And there enough, like dude, sure enough, like every single deposit from every single carrier, swiping through all these photos, all added up to $30,000 over the course of 3 months. And I left that day, like signed the ICA. I'm like, let's do it. And then my first full month in July, I left in June. First full month, made $30,000 profit on the dot. So
Wow.
yeah.
So let's unpack this a little bit, Travis. So you were at another company. You said that you had kind of been there for a little bit too long, longer than you were hoping to. Obviously, there's people that are in opportunities that kind of stay too long. When did you know, or like, what were the signs that you knew that it was maybe not the right opportunity? And when do you feel like you should have left of what you were seeing?
When I had a 55K submit month and I only profited 9 grand.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
What did that have to do with like chargebacks, or what? Why was that happening?
Chargebacks, lead cost, and also comp. My comp was getting messed up with. I was actually at 80% comp for 9 months after hitting like first month I did 5K, second month did
Whoa.
10K, then 15K, then 20K, then 30, then 55, and then even at the end when it was supposed to change, it still never changed. So yeah, that's
Wow. So just you weren't being really treated fairly. Kind of stayed a little too long, and that was like
yeah.
the indicator of like, hey, need to move on,
Yeah,
and
and like I also didn't really have like ownership over, and I'm like an open book. If like you ask me, I'll just like
yeah,
tell it. I don't really care.
yeah,
Um, like I mean, when I hopped on, like my upline was like, yeah, go ahead and bring people in from your social media. I'll train them up for you. We can just put them all direct to me, and then once they're all trained up, I'll put them direct to you. And in my head, I'm like, oh, sick. That's a great deal. Because I was just clueless. I didn't know anything about insurance. It's like, but I mean, now I have the mindset like, dude, if you go in and you find someone, you're in my downline, go out and find someone, I'll 100% help you train them. I'll do the majority of the work. And they're still your downline. You're still making the override. Like, that's stupid to not do.
yeah.
So, yeah, like, I didn't even like, were they writing a lot of business? Not completely, but they were still putting up some business. But none of these guys were my downlines. And they were just eventually going to get moved to me, which I find insane. So there was that, and then obviously not being profitable.
Dang, yeah. What were some of like the biggest differences from like the other two IMOs that you were with, and now where you're at with Unitrust? Kind of how Unitrust is ran, and what are the differences that you've noticed that you like?
It's just leads. Like I think the number one problem in the life insurance industry is like finding a consistent lead vendor that is going to be like one affordable and two is just consistent over like the weeks. So, when I was at FFL and the other IMO that I was at, like, for a lot of other IMOs out there, you have to find vendors like, or you're doing like life jackets, you're doing strong points, CRM centers, all these. And one week they might be like popping, they might be good, and then the next week it just falls off in quality. And mainly that's because of like if people really think about it, like all of these like vendors are on like a round kind of like system. So it's like if no one's really on it or knows about it or no one's just really ripping it that week, like it'll be good because like Facebook and Instagram can push ads to people that are actually qualified. But then once you have like an influx of people, everyone signing up, and the round robin still needs to fulfill the orders, they're just going to be showing the ads to everyone. People that aren't really like relatives of vets or people who were just looking weren't really interested. So yeah, like that would happen all the time. You'd find one vendor that was good for 2 weeks, and then it would just fall off in quality. Then you're like in the dark. You don't know where you're going to get your leads that week. So when I heard Unitrust was an IMO that was only mortgage protection, which is already a green flag because mortgage protection is one of the stickiest types of business out there. When I heard they were already doing mortgage protection and they had like their own subsidized leads and they were all mailers, so there wasn't like digital leads where people are just going through like, filling stuff out randomly. I heard all that and like all 1,000+ people here don't go off to different vendors. I was like, no way. I'm like, there's got to be some people like trying strong points or doing this, doing that. And then my uplines were like, no, like everyone here rips only unit trust leads. They're that good. I was like, that's wild. And sure enough, it was true.
What have you noticed that are like the biggest differences about the leads of like when you're on the phones with them? Like, what are some of the differences in quality?
Um, I think it's like a benefit to the fact that like they're not like necessarily shopping for it. You know what I mean? It's like they're not like intentionally like going on Facebook trying to like look up mortgage protection. They're qualified because they recently closed on a home. Like whether or not it's like a fresh A lead where they just moved in and they just called into that card, like they're a new homeowner and they have this new mortgage, so there's the needs already there, like regardless, right? And even if it's like an age lead, like 90 days old, there's a need there, but they're not shopping for it. It's like you're kind of just coming in and you're like, yeah, this is what people do. They get this in place. It's going to, cover the payments for a certain period of time, or it's going to completely pay off your $300,000 mortgage if, you pass away and your wife can't keep up with the bills or pay it off, for all the kids and everything. it just makes sense. And the fact that they're not shopping for it, I think plays a really big difference in comparison to digital leads and then mailers.
Yeah, that makes sense. When looking at your business as a whole, like where would you say that you're at right now? Like compared, you had mentioned that you did like a 55K month at FFL and you only profited like 9 grand. Like what are you doing consistently over here at Unitrust and what is that converting into like profitability for you?
Yeah, with bonuses and everything combined, like bonuses, overrides, and then also just like my own personal pen. Like I'm only writing probably like I don't know, 25 to 30,000 a month. Like really not even that much, but I'm profiting 30. And that first full month that I got here, like in July, my team wasn't really established at that point really yet. I did $100,000 in team production my first full month here. Um, I don't know, a lot of like the structure was kind of messed up. It was just kind of messed up when I first hopped on. But when I looked at the numbers, I profited on my own personal pen 26,000 and 4,000 off of overheads. So the majority of it I made off myself, and that was only off of like a 30, 25K month, something like that. So you account for bonuses, you account for the fact that this stuff's actually sticking on the books. Yeah, you actually like are profitable. It's crazy.
That's awesome. When you talk about sticking on the books, like what would you say that the majority of your deals that you write, how many of those do you actually end up keeping typically?
Like about 85% to 90%. Right now I have
85 to
about
90.
yeah, 85 to 90. I mean, every once in a while you'll just have like the oddball where it's like, oh yeah, I talked to my son. He's a financial advisor at Wells Fargo and says that like I should get this kind of policy instead. And you're just like, okay, what are you gonna do about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some stuff falls off, but like the main thing is that like you're not getting freaking calls saying like, hey Travis, like, and this is like 4 months later. Hey Travis, someone called me saying that I need to replace my policy that you got fired and I need a Mutual of Omaha. Like you're not getting that where people
Yeah.
are your leads are getting resold, and they're filling out like a million forms at once. So other people are calling them and then just offering them something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. When looking at bringing your team into Unitrust as well. Obviously, you're not just writing underneath your own pen, but you're bringing people in, teaching them the process as well. When you bring a new agent in, what do you have them like mainly focus on that drives them to be successful?
I mean, just follow the play that Josh Kirsch says. It's like it's literally so simple. It's you just dial from 8 to 11, 11 to 12 daily training, 12 to 3 recruit, do things like this, like just things that are gonna like push your business, and then 3 to 8 just take all the booked appointments. Like it's super simple. I mean, follow that play in, but then also work on like your personal development too. Like that's super massive. Like you want to be like I'm waking up at 4:30 every morning. I get a lift in before, get to a high frequency, so when I'm on the phones, I'm at my best self. Cut out things that like just don't serve you at all, like things that there's a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis that we don't realize is draining our energy, but it actually does, like on a whole other level. Like it comes down to the music that you're listening to. You might not realize it, but that's draining you. It comes down to like you scrolling on reels and stuff, like you might not realize it, but that drains you. Certain people in your life, relationships that you might have, that could be draining you. So it's just kind of like take like a step back and like a 360 view from above, like look at your life and just be like, okay, is this benefiting me or is it not? And if you take out enough distractions, like you're gonna have more than enough energy and motivation to follow the play. And on top of that, we're giving you the play. So you just gotta
Yeah.
run it in.
What were some signs like when it sounds like you obviously have gone through this process of like eliminating these like distractions and these factors that don't benefit you. What were some signs that were like indications of like, hey, this is not beneficial for my life?
I mean, just how you feel afterwards. Like if like you wake up the next morning, like if you got like I've been sober now, I haven't done a drug in about 3 years, and I used to do like about everything. I haven't drank in almost a year and a half now, and I used to drink like multiple times every single week. So I mean, how like the way that I would feel if you go out and you drink like on a Friday, Saturday night, like you're gonna feel horrible on Sunday. You know what I mean? And Sunday should be a day of like you going to church, like getting into your Bible, like being with some like close friends and family, like just raising your frequency, resetting a little bit from having a long week, and then preparing for that next Monday. But if you just spend your Sunday just like in bed, freaking just scrolling more reels and watching TikToks and stuff, like you think you're gonna be that, because then the hangover, it still kind of carries into like the next Monday or even the next Tuesday. So you're not even really 100% there yet again until like Wednesday. And then all of a sudden the entire week's passed. So it's like, like kind of determine how you just feel. And if you have certain people in your life that are draining you, like ask yourself that, like, is this person like motivating me, pushing me forward? Or is it like, am I feeling super drained and is there not that much peace? You got to ask yourself
Yeah.
that too.
That's a big one. With this business, obviously, we've both probably brought, younger individuals into the business itself. What do you do when like parents aren't necessarily on your side, or like maybe they're doubting insurance as like a credibility or credible like profession? What do you kind of tell those people, or have you ever dealt with any of that yourself as you got started with this profession?
Like my own parents, or like no, my mom was like the coolest person of all time. She's like supported me with like everything. Like
Yeah.
failed at literally everything. She's like, "Oh, that's awesome. You're gonna kill it." And I'm like, "Sick." Like every single time it was always like just perfect. And now that she's seeing this, she's like, "Yep, I knew you're gonna do it." And I was like, "Thanks, mom." But
That's awesome.
with other people, like people who are coming in, I've never had to like talk to any parents or anything, or had someone tell me. I mean, maybe that could have been a reason for some people, but they wouldn't want to admit, yeah, I talked to my mom and she said it's a bad idea. Like that's never
Mm,
happened. So, but yeah, I mean, like to kind of convince them, I guess, like I don't know, I would just show them like the deposits. That's all that really matters, like what's going into your account. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
just the money.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Well, let's see here. Getting into insurance, like before you jumped in to insurance, were there any like misconceptions that you heard about insurance that are pretty common that maybe you questioned or doubted beforehand, or do you know of any misconceptions that people are like completely in left field on that just don't even make sense to insurance?
I think like one of the biggest concerns about insurance, it kind of has like just like a negative rep. Like you tell some people that you do insurance sales, and they're just like, oh, like it just like it has like a negative rep around it. But I'd say like probably chargebacks. I think that might be like a big misconception. Chargebacks are going to happen in any business. Regard like people send stuff back to Amazon all the time. Like people return stuff back at the store. Like chargebacks are going to happen regardless of what business you're in.
Yeah.
Now, like in some vehicles that you're in within insurance, like you're going to be in a vehicle sometimes that has like a lot more likely chance of stuff are charging back. But here, and that's to kind of to hit again on like why unit trust leads like kind of stick on the books more. Mainly just the mortgage protection leads. Like they're so good because when if you have someone who's paying for a mortgage, 1,000 to 2,000 to even $3,000 a month, that's a way more high level individual. That's not like someone who doesn't even have $5,000 saved for final expense. This is a more established person who's like they have money. They have at least $1,000 to $3,000 a month coming in. When I was doing these final expense vet stuff, majority of people were charging back because they just didn't even have money in their account to pay for it. You know what I mean? So it's like if you have money in your account coming in, like it might be a little bit of a more difficult sale. You might have to like, work a little bit harder because the final expense vet stuff, that's easy. Like you can go through them like clockwork and like put up all these big numbers and post them on Instagram. But at the end of the day, they're charging back and you're not really making money. You know what I mean? So it's like I would say that's the big misconception, just chargebacks. So look at a lead type like mortgage protection, whether it's with Unitrust or not. Make sure it's a vendor that's consistent because these are more high quality people.
You bring up an interesting point there, Travis, of being able to see the receipts on Instagram and being able to see people posting. And if someone's watching this and kind of on the fence of like, I don't know what's true, what's not true, like being able to see what's going on, how would you be able to help them understand like what receipts kind of are true, what are not true? How do you kind of depict that when you see that on Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's like, I mean, just DM that person directly. I would say. I mean, it's always gonna have like the name of the person directly, and then just like tell them to send them a picture of their bank account, and like all and
Straight
like
up ask them.
yeah, like straight up, like just say like send me like the timestamps of everything, like when all these deposits hit, like the first of the month, second, third, fourth, fifth, and if it adds up to the like, let's see like what number it adds up to, and see how far off it is from what's posted on Instagram.
Love that. Just be straightforward, and hey, if you're interested in an opportunity, just go ask the question. And if they can't prove it, then it's not real. If they can prove it, then it show me the check. I'll quit my job, and and pull the Wolf of Wall Street move, you know? That's awesome. Well, Travis, what was like a big turning point for you? Like, looking at you've been through a couple different IMOs, you found unit trust, you were kind of, tiptoeing on your way out of insurance, and now, you're obviously you have a thriving business going right now in unit trust. What was like that big shift for you to find your success?
Um, like getting closer to God for sure. Like just having that peace, and like that guide as well within my business. Like that's super massive. And I had him, and I was very close to him on like in the last like 2 to 3 months. That's when I really first started kind of getting close to God. I had him like the last 2 to 3 months of the last company that I was at, and he was honestly the one that pushed me like out of it and like just made things make sense and made certain people kind of come into my life that pushed me to make the decision to leave the last place that I was at. And it was my environment too. I mean, I was sleeping on the couch for 5 months with two other guys, from about like January to, no, it was about like February to about 1st of June, really. So like on the couch, like every single night. Um, I mean, getting out of that and getting my own spot, like I went from that to a two-bedroom apartment across the street from the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and then getting in Unitrust, getting around Edgar, like my upline, he's the goat. Yeah, I mean, just a combination thing. Then having leads that actually work, like seeing money come into the account. I mean, all of that like just made the biggest difference.
That's awesome. When you say that you started like bringing God more into your life, what did that look like for you?
So basically, like, how did it happen? Like, how did it kind of? It was a guy. Yeah, I was in the gym, and I was just working out, and like I had my earbuds in. I was probably listening to like 21 Savage or something, and I looked like upset. I don't really notice it, but like I guess like this guy Deja, he thought that I look upset, and he came up to me. He's like yo, what's up? And he's like, 40 years old, tall dude. He's wearing like a do rag, and I was like, yo, what's up? And he's like, oh, what's up, little bro? Like you just looked like like you needed like someone to talk to you. Like can I pray for you real quick? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So he just prayed for me in the gym, and then he invited me to go to church with him that weekend, and I did. And then from there, we started just talking like and lifting every single day for about like 2 3 months. And he's like a super super big man of God. He like does the filming there at the church, and we would talk about God like 2 3 hours every single morning before actually going into the workday. And it was like the best time of my life. It was like the most peace I ever had. So many signs that like from God that just kind of happen in your life, just knowing that He's real. And so yeah, that's how I got closer to Him for sure.
That's awesome. What are some like things that you do to keep him like at the forefront of your business?
So yeah, that's like another thing. It's like if you're not like consistent and on top of like working on that relationship with them, it's very easy for it to slip. Like it was very easy to keep it when I was like with Deja and we're talking about it in the gym every single day. But then when I moved here, I wasn't lifting with him every single day, and I almost got caught like too much in business, and then it like honestly kind of slipped away from me for a little bit, from about like June up until like honestly like a few weeks ago. And I think it's like the same thing as in the gym. I mean, if you're not like constantly like working your muscles, you're gonna lose that muscle. So some of the things that I'm doing is obviously like non-negotiable church every single weekend. I think that replacing all rap, I haven't really listened to like rap music in the past like 3 weeks. So I'm just cutting that out, replacing that with worship music. I think that helps a lot. And then about halfway through my lift, I'll also listen to 2819, Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell, and then also just end the night with at least like a couple pages in the Bible. Like just get some like passages in and pray to him in the morning and then pray to him before you go to bed. Like that's enough to keep the relationship going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that, Travis. That's what what impact do you think that's played in your business? Like as far as just not personally for you, but also like your business as a whole.
Like in terms of, I think, well, I wouldn't be here like at Unitrust if he didn't guide me out of the place that I was at. Like I actually like I was like deciding whether or not like I should leave the insurance space, like or even like come down to Fort Lauderdale and everything. And I
Yeah.
was so conflicted because the last place that like I was at, it was so big on like loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. And yeah, like I literally I fasted for 3 days. Like I did a 72-hour fast solely out of the reason of just like just to hear from him and connect from him and just get my answer on what I was supposed to do. And I think, I mean, if I didn't do that and really seek him first, I don't think that I would have made the switch or had the clarity or like peace to be able to make the switch from the last place that I was at to here. So he was the one that really initiated this whole thing with unit trust to begin with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Where would you say that you're currently at right now in unit trust, team wise, goal wise, and then where do you see yourself going in 2026 as we wrap up 25?
So I mean, right now, I honestly I kind of fell off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I got here, like I got here in June. I got like halfway through June, I wasn't really writing business yet, but I had first week I was here, like I see 33 people just straight from social media. And then first month in, that's when I started writing, did 100K. Second month in, August, did 200K. September it went down a little bit, to about like 183 or something. And then next month was like 160. And then we brought it back up to like 219 was what October was. And this past month, November, is like 150, probably something like that. Nothing too crazy. But I let my piece like kind of get drained in a way. There was like, just I know what I got to do. I know like who I have to like keep in my life, who I don't have to keep in my life. Who like that was just kind of my main thing. I got distracted for a little bit, so I'm locked back in
Yeah.
now.
You're locked in. What are some goals that Travis has for his agency in 26?
$1 million a month for sure by the end of the year, like no doubt. I would say before even that, to be honest, like by summer.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to take to be able to get there?
It's going to be able to take about roughly 100 writers, roughly like 100 to 125 writers. I just like made a really big investment on social media mentorship, so I'm hoping to bring a lot more people from social media. I've got a lot more time now to be able to pour back into people. Like I want to be working Saturdays and Sundays again, like I was. So I think the extra time that I'm going to be able to put in, plus the different adjustments I want to make from social media, and then a few systems that I have to kind of keep people in the process of finishing the Excel course, getting through pre-licensing, licensing, all that. Those systems that I'm coming out with too. I think that's going to be able to get us at 100, 125 writer mark. Right now we're at about 20.
Nice. Okay, so about 6xing your current team, which is great. When you think about your team specifically, what are you looking for in your team?
I'm looking for someone that just. That's a good question. Like, obviously everyone's welcome. Like I have like a very big like variety of people. Like seriously, like a big variety of people. Like one of my guys, Blake, who was like a COO of he managed like hundreds and hundreds of people for like the car wash industry. Like, he's like one of the biggest in the car wash industry. Dude already drives a G-Wagon, house in Miami and stuff, and he hopped on. Then I got people like Joe, and he's got like 2 kids, wife. So like, and then I have like people who are like 18 coming on. So it's like, I wouldn't say it's like a special like person that I'm really looking for, but just people that want to come in and just make some money, get better, get closer to God, work on their personal development. Those are mainly the big things.
Nice. Okay. And when someone is looking to get in, how can they get a hold of you to be able to maybe talk with you, see if it's something that makes sense for them?
Yeah, just DM me on Instagram, Travis Blackburn with 2 N's at the end.
Perfect. Awesome. And then Travis, for anyone that is watching this that is, maybe on the fence, what do you want to tell them to maybe, get them across the line and be able to show them what the real insurance experience is like?
Yeah, shoot me a DM. We can hop on a call. I can kind of break it down a little bit more how it works. But I mean, it's just a dope business. It's like you can literally work from wherever. You can recruit as many people as you want, and you can use your social media to do so. We all have that. Like Jared could show you his bank deposits. I'm sure I could show you mine. I mean, it's like a legitimate thing. Just ask us and have that conversation with us.
Absolutely. Awesome, Travis. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm stoked to see your business grow and just be able to light on fire for the Lord in 26. And I'm excited to see the growth and be able to grow alongside of you as well. Travis, thanks for joining us here, and I'm excited to talk with you next time once we hit these goals.
Let's get it. Thanks, brother.
Alrighty, absolutely.